Thailand reveals itself, slowly, not through grand declarations, but through layers of contrast. From the moment you arrive, the air feels different, warm, humid, and alive with movement. In Bangkok, towering skyscrapers rise beside golden temples, while street vendors cook meals that rival fine dining. It is a country where tradition and modernity coexist without tension, blending seamlessly into everyday life. For many, Thailand is known for its beaches and tourism, but beneath that image lies a deeply rooted culture shaped by history, religion, and community. Life here is not rushed in the same way as in many Western countries. There is an underlying rhythm, guided by patience and social harmony. People greet each other with the why, a simple gesture that reflects respect and humility. Smiles are not just politeness, they're a cultural language. This is why Thailand is often called the land of smiles. But beyond the surface, daily life is shaped by practical realities: work, family, cost of living, and social expectations. Understanding Thailand means looking beyond the postcard image and into the routines of its people. This is a country full of surprises, where the ordinary can feel extraordinary. In Thailand's cities, life begins early. Before the sky fully brightens, street vendors are already at work, setting up carts and small stalls along sidewalks. The smell of grilled meats, steaming rice, and fresh herbs fills the air. Workers, students, and commuters stop briefly to pick up breakfast, quick, affordable, and made fresh on the spot. This daily ritual is not rushed, but it is efficient, shaped by years of routine. In Bangkok, the energy builds quickly. By mid-morning, the streets are alive with movement. Cars line up in traffic, often stretching for blocks, while motorbikes slip between lanes with practiced ease. At first glance, it feels chaotic, but there's an unspoken coordination that keeps everything flowing. Drivers anticipate each other's movements, and pedestrians navigate the streets with quiet confidence. Public transportation plays a crucial role in managing this pace. Systems like the BTS SkyTrain and MRT Bangkok offer fast and reliable alternatives to road travel. Riverboats along the Chao Phraya provide another route, cutting through the city in a way that roads cannot. For many residents, combining these options is part of everyday life. Housing reflects the density of the city. Many people live in compact condominiums or apartments, often located near transit lines. Space is limited, but convenience is prioritized. Buildings frequently include small shops, laundry services, and food vendors on the ground floor, turning living spaces into self-contained communities. Workdays in the city can be long. Offices, retail stores, and markets often operate well into the evening, yet the rhythm of work is different. Short breaks are common, and food is always within reach. Instead of preparing meals at home, people step outside to eat, choosing from countless street vendors and small eateries. This habit is not just about convenience, it is part of the social fabric. Social interaction happens in brief but meaningful moments. Colleagues share lunch at small tables, friends meet at night markets, and neighbors exchange greetings in passing. Even in a city of millions, these small interactions create a sense of familiarity. Community exists not in large gatherings, but in repeated everyday encounters. Technology is deeply integrated into this lifestyle. Smartphones are used for nearly everything: ordering food, paying bills, booking transportation, and staying connected. Mobile payment apps reduce the need for cash, and delivery services bring meals and groceries directly to homes. The digital and physical worlds blend seamlessly. Yet beneath this modern surface, traditional values remain strong. Respect for elders, politeness in communication, and awareness of social hierarchy continue to guide behavior. These cultural elements provide stability in an otherwise fast-moving environment. City life in Thailand is not simply about speed or activity. It's about balance between movement and pause, modern convenience and cultural tradition. People adapt to the flow, learning when to move quickly and when to slow down. In doing so, they create a way of living that feels both dynamic and grounded at the same time. Away from the cities, Thailand transforms completely. The noise fades, the pace slows, and the landscape opens into fields, forests, and small village roads. Rural life is quieter, more deliberate, and deeply connected to the natural environment. In many villages, families live in traditional wooden houses raised on stilts, a design that protects against seasonal flooding and allows air to circulate during the intense heat. Daily life is closely tied to the land. Agriculture is not just an occupation, it is a way of life. Rice farming dominates much of the countryside, especially in regions like Isan, where vast fields stretch to the horizon. The rhythm of work follows the seasons, planting during the rains, tending the fields as they grow, and harvesting when the time is right. These cycles dictate not only labor, but also the pace of life itself. Days begin early, often before sunrise. Farmers head to the fields while the air is still cool, working steadily through the morning. By midday, when temperatures rise sharply, activity slows or pauses altogether. Afternoons are quieter, reserved for rest, small tasks, or social interaction. This natural balance between work and rest is shaped by the climate, not by rigid schedules. Community plays a central role in rural living. Villages are tightly connected, with neighbors relying on one another for support. Whether it is helping during harvest, preparing for a ceremony, or simply sharing food, cooperation is part of everyday life. People know each other not just by name, but by family history and shared experience. Cultural traditions remain strong in these areas. Local temples, such as a village Wat Pra Dat Nong Bua, often serve as the heart of the community. Festivals and religious events bring people together throughout the year, blending spirituality with celebration. These gatherings reinforce identity and continuity, passing customs from one generation to the next. However, rural life also comes with limitations. Access to healthcare and education can be uneven, especially in more remote areas. Job opportunities outside agriculture are limited, which has led to a steady migration of younger generations to cities like Bangkok or Chiang Mai. Many leave in search of better income and opportunities, sending money back to support their families. This shift changes the structure of village life. Older residents often remain, maintaining traditions and caring for the land, while younger people return only during holidays or important events. Despite this shift, family ties remain strong, sustained through regular communication and shared responsibility. What rural Thailand offers, however, is something increasingly rare, a sense of stability and belonging. Life is less driven by competition and more by continuity. There is time to observe, to participate, and to maintain traditions that define identity. In these villages, Thailand's cultural roots are not preserved in museums or ceremonies alone, but in everyday actions, how people work, eat, celebrate, and support one another. It is a way of life that evolves slowly, holding on to its past while adapting carefully to the future. Food in Thailand is not just nourishment, it is central to life. Meals are frequent, social, and deeply embedded in daily routines. From morning to night, eating is a constant activity, shaping how people organize their time and interact with others. It is common to hear people ask not "how are you," but "have you eaten yet?" a reflection of how closely food is tied to care and connection. Street food defines the experience. Vendors set up along sidewalks, in markets, and outside office buildings, creating an ever-present food culture that is both accessible and dynamic. Dishes are prepared fresh, often right in front of customers, using simple tools but refined techniques. Popular meals include rice topped with stir-fried basil and meat, noodle soups rich with herbs and broth, and spicy salads like sumtam. Another iconic dish, pad Thai, reflects the balance of flavors that defines Thai cooking. Each region adds its own identity to the cuisine. In the north, food tends to be milder and influenced by neighboring cultures, while the south is known for its bold, spicy flavors and use of coconut milk. This regional diversity ensures that food in Thailand never feels repetitive. It evolves with location and local ingredients. Balance is at the heart of every dish. Sweet, sour, salty, and spicy elements are carefully combined, creating layers of flavor rather than a single dominant taste. This balance is not accidental. It mirrors a broader cultural mindset that values harmony in all aspects of life. Meals are rarely eaten alone. Instead, multiple dishes are placed in the center of the table and shared among everyone present. This style of eating encourages conversation, connection, and a sense of togetherness. Even quick meals can become social moments, reinforcing relationships through something as simple as sharing food. Practicality also shapes eating habits. For many people, especially in cities like Bangkok, it is often cheaper and easier to eat outside than to cook at home. This has created a culture where kitchens are less central and the streets become an extension of the dining room. From modest roadside stalls to refined restaurants, food remains one of the most accessible pleasures in Thailand. It is more than a daily necessity. It is a ritual, a social bridge, and a constant presence that brings people together in both ordinary and meaningful ways. Education exists everywhere, but quality? That's where things split. In cities like Bangkok, schools often have better funding, modern classrooms, and access to technology. Students may learn in air-conditioned rooms, use digital tools, and have exposure to international programs. Private and international schools offer even more advantages, including English-based curriculums and pathways to global universities. Rural schools? Not always. In more remote areas, resources can be limited. Classrooms may be smaller, materials outdated, and teacher shortages more common. Students often have fewer opportunities to explore subjects beyond the basics. Even access to the internet, something taken for granted in cities, can be inconsistent. Students across the country wear uniforms, strict rules, structured days. This creates a sense of equality on the surface. Respect is taught early. Students stand when teachers enter the room. They follow clear hierarchies and expectations. Discipline is not just about behavior. It reflects a broader cultural value placed on order and respect for authority. But here's the issue. Not all education leads to opportunity. The system emphasizes memorization and exams, sometimes at the expense of critical thinking or practical skills. While students may perform well in structured environments, adapting to rapidly changing job markets can be more challenging. English skills vary widely, and that matters. In a global economy, language can open doors or close them. Students from urban or private schools often have stronger English proficiency, giving them an advantage in industries like tourism, business, and international trade. Meanwhile, job markets are shifting fast. Traditional career paths are no longer guaranteed. Degrees don't always lead directly to employment. Competition is increasing and expectations are changing. So many students aim higher: universities, big cities, even abroad. Institutions like Chulalongkorn University or Mahidol University represent more than education. They symbolize opportunity, status, and a way forward. Getting into these institutions can shape an entire future. But even then, education becomes a gamble, a chance to move up, but not a guarantee. Graduates may still face uncertain job prospects, underemployment, or the need to switch career paths entirely. This creates pressure not only on students, but also on families who invest heavily in education with the hope of better outcomes. And that uncertainty? It shapes how young people think. Many become more cautious, balancing ambition with realism. Some pursue stable careers, even if they are less fulfilling. Others take risks, starting businesses, freelancing, or seeking opportunities abroad. In the end, education in Thailand is more than a system. It is a pathway filled with possibility, but also unpredictability. And for many young people, navigating that path becomes one of the most important and challenging parts of their lives. Thailand is often called the land of smiles. But that smile, it means more than happiness. It's social strategy, a way to maintain balance, a way to avoid tension before it even begins. People avoid conflict, avoid confrontation, avoid embarrassment for themselves and others. Because losing face, that matters here. It's not just personal, it's social. When someone loses face, it can affect relationships, reputation, and group harmony. So instead of arguing, people adjust. They change tone. They soften words. They find indirect ways to disagree. A yes doesn't always mean agreement. Sometimes it simply means, I understand. This indirect communication style can be confusing to outsiders, but within Thai society, it works. Because the goal isn't to win an argument, it's to preserve harmony. Conversations stay calm, emotions stay controlled. Raising your voice or showing anger in public is rare, not because people don't feel it, but because expressing it openly disrupts balance, and balance is everything. There's even a cultural concept often referred to as krang jai. It describes a deep sense of consideration for others, not wanting to inconvenience them, upset them, or create discomfort. This shapes behavior in subtle ways. People hesitate before making requests. They offer help before being asked. They think about how their actions affect others. Family plays a big role too. Often multiple generations live together or remain closely connected. Parents, children, grandparents, all part of a shared support system. Responsibilities are shared. Decisions are often collective. Respect for elders is especially strong. Their opinions carry weight, and their presence anchors family life. And social life? It revolves around simple things: food, gatherings, festivals, moments that bring people together without pressure. Events like Songkran transform entire streets into spaces of celebration, where strangers interact freely, yet still within unspoken social boundaries. Even casual evenings at local markets or small restaurants become social rituals. People sit, talk, share dishes, and enjoy the moment. Not excess, not extravagance, connection. In Thailand, social life isn't built on intensity. It's built on ease, a quiet understanding that maintaining harmony, even at the cost of confrontation, is what keeps relationships strong and society functioning smoothly. Here's what many people want to know. Is Thailand cheap? Yes and no. Street food? Very cheap. Local transport? Affordable. But imported goods? Luxury living? That adds up fast. So lifestyle matters. A lot. Some people live simply, very comfortably. Others spend heavily and feel the pressure. Healthcare is a big advantage, though. Good quality, lower cost than many countries. And that's one reason people move here. But for locals, balancing income and expenses is a daily calculation. Not always easy. So what is Thailand really like? It's not just beaches, not just cheap living, not just smiles. It's layered, complex, sometimes difficult. But here's what stands out. People adapt constantly. There's a phrase you'll hear a lot, Mai Pen Rai. It means it's okay, but it's deeper than that. It's a mindset. Things go wrong, move on. Plans change. Adjust. Life isn't perfect. Accept it. And that mindset might be the biggest reason Thailand works the way it does. Because in the end, it's not about having control. It's about knowing when to let go.